the experience of INEC in the last few weeks or months, if you like, concerning their facilities being burnt. About 42 INEC offices were burnt, in a few weeks. And so we will take a look at all of that. But listen to what the president said here.
It is very clear that they intend to make sure that this administration fails. I'm getting good intelligence report on daily basis. The question of insecurity in the country is being mentioned all over the world, not only here in Nigeria. But I believe there are Nigerians that will attempt at least to be fair by what I believed, that I will run the country according to the Constitution. Now, with all these people who want power, whoever they are, have they proved that I was not following the Constitution? Am I not leading the country according to the Constitution? What do they want? So whoever wanted diversion or destruction of the system at this point, I think will soon have their shock of their lives. I think we have given them enough latitude. They have made their case. They just wanted to destroy the country. Simple. Because what do they want? And we are concentrating on infrastructure because no country or institution can be developed without infrastructure. Now, for those of us who are unfortunate to be in the field for the 30 months of the Civil War, to see the carnage of how we kill ourselves, at least 1 million people, I think those that are misbehaving, they were either too young, they didn't know what happened. But for those of us who went through all these things, we can't understand. So we will treat them in the language they understand. So I feel for your understanding and so on. We are going to be very hard sooner than later. We have done our best to change the service chiefs and the IG. We allow them time to go around to make necessary changes for them to be firmly in charge. We'll try and give them the resources they require, and we will demand security sooner than later. I thank you very much for your presentation. I assure you that this administration will do whatever we can do for you so that we don't give anybody excuse to blame us that we don't want to go or we want to have a third term.
That was the president speaking there. What he said at this event was what was tweeted, for Mr. President, and Twitter fell off. The Twitter went outraged, and a lot of people were reporting that tweet every time. I mean, within an hour, I saw 10,000 plus reports, quoted tweets, on it. I also wonder, maybe that will be able to help me, that is technically savvy about this Twitter, when we come to the microphone. Why would they suspend comment on that Mr. President's Twitter handle, They didn't allow us to make comment. But so, Nigerians now, they began to quote the tweet for like 10,000 tweets. It was Jack. Suspend this and that. So, but this is what Lai Mohammed said after that tweet was pulled down.
The mission of Twitter in Nigeria is very, very suspect. As Twitter deleted the violent tweets that Nnamdi Kanu has been sending, has it? The same Twitter during the NSAS program that was funding NSAS protesters was the first to withdraw, to close the account of former president of US, Trump. And you see, when people were burning police stations and killing policemen in Nigeria during NSAS, for Twitter, it was about the right to protest. But when a similar thing happened on the Capitol, it became insurrection. You see, we are not going to be fooled by anybody. We have a country to rule, and we'll do so to the best of our ability. Twitter's mission in Nigeria, citing those two examples, is very suspect.
I was trying to make sense of what Minister Lai meant by Twitter's mission in Nigeria is suspect. I mean, is Twitter in Nigeria? I mean, if the president should delete his handle from Twitter, what would it do to Twitter, or what would it do to Mr. President? Just questions. So, gentlemen, welcome. Michael Oladoke is here. Hello, Michael.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Tunde and Dayo. It's good to be here again. Let's reason together.
And Dayo Ogunbowale is here.
Always a pleasure to be
time.
here. Yeah, we're here.
Welcome.
We're still here.
Good to have you. And Tunde Olawo is also here. Hi, Tunde.
Good evening, Shu. Good evening to Dayo and to Michael and to everybody. Thank you for having us again.
And Bosu is also here. Thank you, Bosu, for being here. We are on live on Facebook, and you can join us, you can share, you can be part of this engagement so that all of us will be together. I want us to also make sure that we can take as many calls as possible today. So comments will be strictly, managed to give time for the public to be part of this one. I'll start with Tunde. Today, what was your first reaction to that tweet? Mine was the reaction of people to that tweet, particularly the last tweet itself, where we got that we'll deal with them, the language that they understand. The kind of attraction it got was surprising to me. I was thinking the president was simply just saying that those who are destroying facilities, those who are making life unbearable, will be met with the required, measure of violence by the law. But it became something else. We read more meanings to it. What were your first reactions to it?
Well, I think that the tweet, for once, represented the feeling of the president.
He said it.
Oftentimes the tweets that we see on that Andu Muhammadu Buhari, maybe things allegedly written by his aides. Sometimes we don't necessarily believe that they represent the position of the president, since he doesn't get to speak so often. But this one was a tweet that was a transcription of his speech, a remark he made, when he hosted the top officials of INEC, who went to complain to him about the attacks, series of attacks on their facilities across the nation. And then he used that opportunity to also address the issues of insecurity, especially in some parts of the country, as the president put it. I think that speech was in bad taste. That shouldn't come from the president of, a diverse country like Nigeria. I mean, let's situate what the president said. What's the big deal about it? Some have tried to, gaslight us by saying it was basically just talking about the general insecurity in the land. That the law will be strong in dealing with criminals. No. I mean, if you listen to that speech, you will know that he was actually making reference to some people, basically of southeastern extraction, and we know what has been going on in that place for a long time. Now, nobody should, try to rationalize, what is going on in the southeast. The carnage is inexcusable, is indefensible. That we are seeing attacks on policemen, on the military. But you see, these things, they also just don't happen in isolation. That region in the last few months have become a police region, so to say, with so many checkpoints and reported cases of extrajudicial killings. So some will call this one some kind of resistance or not, but you see, to limit ourselves to what the president said, I think that statement shouldn't have come from the president. The civil war was a one-sided affair with, the South, the people of the old Eastern region, suffering massive, level of destruction and fatality. There are some who are still agitating that the nation should even apologize to them. That is on the table. But for the president to, come back, especially, he was around, he also fought in that war, to come back and issue a threat that, look, if you don't learn, because essentially what the president was saying is that we can deal with you again. Like we did before. I think that I found that statement insensitive.
Okay. I was reading the Premium Times, and here it says, in the past 2 years, at least 41 offices of the Electoral Commission have been attacked across Nigeria by armed non-state actors.
Yeah.
They talked about data, said Imo State topped the log with the most attacks during the period under review.
And I believe strongly that you can condemn those attacks. You can issue strong warnings about the resolve of the nation to dealing with that problem without necessarily making reference
to the war,
to the civil war, and then ending it with a threat.
Before I come to Mike, INEC said most of the attacks on its facilities were orchestrated by hoodlums and unknown gunmen. I still want us to look at the issue of unknown
UGM.
Unknown gunmen, unknown men. All right. Dio, all of you have been saying the president should speak to us. He has spoken, and the earth is shaking.
And it's a disaster. I'm going to pick it from a point today made, brilliant point. For those asking that the federal government, Nigeria should apologize. Germany just apologized to Namibia recently, and they will be paying in billions. Yes, they came out openly and said, we are sorry. We know this happened, and we will be putting this amount of money to ensure that you guys get back to. So if Nigeria apologizes, is not out. In fact, that's, I think, in the process of healing, that is one thing that you should start with. We are sorry. Not throwing it in their faces, for God's sake. And for those who may not know, this won't be the first time that such statements will come from that quarter. Yes, it might not have been directly from Mr. President, but the reason why it seems to gain so much traction, because I noticed we were particular about the 10,000 quotes and retweets. May 30 was Biafra Remembrance Day.
Yeah.
So, and they had 2 days, in fact, in some places, 3-4 days, sit-at-home order. So it's just like someone just got wounded.
So the timing was really very bad.
Very wrong. Very, very wrong. Very, very wrong. And I'm like, couldn't some people have signaled to Mr. President that, okay, if you're going to be saying these particular things, at least we see some people do it for certain people in offices that, if you're going to talk about this, say whatever you want to say, but don't mention this.
Don't go this way.
It's rife. I mean, everybody's still talking about the sit-at-home and the aftermath and all this and that. UGM here. Mind you, UGM is not unknown, actually. These guys have been discovered to actually move in white cars. So they are actually not unknown.
So they are known gunmen.
They are known, actually.
Who are they?
Eyewitnesses
they are known, unknown.
They are actually known.
You and this
They are actually known, actually. So these guys, they know them.
So we should stop deceiving ourselves.
I mean, it's let's just leave that one. But should Mr. President have said that? I think it's just, I think it was just the bias within that found a way to reveal itself. and it's unfortunate.
Okay, Michael, Biafra becomes a sensitive issue right now. I know that you did something on Book Splash about Biafra.
Yes.
I mean, recently. And the wound seems to be not healing. I make reference always to Tutsis and Hutus in
Rwanda.
Today, that animosity cannot be seen visibly.
Yeah, it has
within
been,
that
it has been mended.
enclave. Yes. The painful legacy of the Biafran War is still with us.
Yes.
Those who died were not officially commemorated, if you look at it. The nation did not apologize. The atrocities leveled at the military have not been repatriated. Nobody had said that we're sorry or we acknowledge.
Yeah.
The war is not even taught in schools. We don't have museums or whatever to commemorate that war. We seem to be losing the story.
Yeah, we seem, I like your choice of seem. We seem to be losing the story in the other parts of the country. But in the southeast and south-south, they have not lost the story. And many of the museums, you mentioned museums, many of the museums, I have visited on a number of times the museum in Calabar. What you have in that museum is just about the slave trade. I'm not sure whether the museum, I think it was in Enugu or one of these states in the southeast where you have the war museum. It's in, it's like a skeleton, of course. So we have not really talked about the Civil War. We have not sat down to have a national conversation. You were making reference, the author whom I interviewed, I think the book is How Money Remembers the Night or something like that. He was saying that we have not had a national dialogue to discuss the Civil War, to say, okay, who was hurt, who wasn't, what should we do to appease, if there is a need to appease whatever gods that we need to appease in this matter of the Civil War. So it has always been deliberate silence on the part of a lot of people, and those people at that part of the country are saying we have been dished injustice. You guys need to sit down with us and address this matter, and let all of us come out with the stories that we have. We have so much of untold story about the Biafran War. You see, all the books that have been written, all the perspectives are just perspectives of the victim. We basically don't have a national perspective to the Nigerian Civil War. And unfortunately, just like you said, I think it was in 2010 or 2000, I can't remember the year, when they removed history from the school curriculum. That also did grave injustice to the consciousness of the typical average Nigerian. Because many of us don't even know where we are coming from. And when you don't know where you are coming from, it will be difficult for you to really craft a future for yourself. I think it was P.B. Shelley who said that you must have a sense of history. It will help you to do two things. Number one, understand the present moment. And then number two, have a clear vision of how you want to navigate the future. We don't have that. So that's why the ghost of the Civil War will continue to haunt this nation.
So what's your response to the president's tweet or the speech?
You see, you would typically expect a president to be a stabilizing force. You see, when a president appears on screen, you people should be able to say, guys, hold on. The president wants to talk. That is the sense that I have in my own head. The sense that if there is a crisis anywhere and you hear pa-pum, 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 you begin to say, okay, this the fire service, right? They are coming. Okay, respite, help has come. That should be the attitude. But you see, unfortunately, the president, just like Dayo said, the president has, some, perceptions that he has not been able to cure himself of.
I'll take a break. I saw your comment, Shina Amuda, that the people are so responsible at reporting such speech. Do the Blue app owner ever go back to review whatever is reported and decipher the faults or rights? Have there been any reportage as regards that of Wiki and those of Kanu himself? We're not criminals, and whoever says the speech is wrong needs some kinds of medication. Shina, I don't want us to go that deep. Thank you so much for your comment, but we want you to make comments. You can watch us on Facebook. I would like to hear from you. Thank you for being there. We'll take a break. I'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Splash FM 105.5.
enter the place and it brighten. Make everybody they wonder. Waiting me cause all the shine. Lush hair, lush hair. Long hair or short doesn't matter. Crochet or dreadlocks can be better. Only for girls we know better. Lush hair, lush hair. So you want to slay? Slay with swag. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. Straight or curly. You know they tango. Lie. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. Wonder how I shine like this. I'm on a lush hair, be the coco. Say you want to know. And if you wanna be fine like me, I can show you where to go. A lush hair, be the coco.
Beautiful people know how to make an impression, and that's why they only trust Lush Hair Extensions to bring out the shine in them. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
What are you looking for? The experience of a lifetime? Front row seats?
Game time.
To rub shoulders with the best in the world?
Ronaldo. Oh my goodness me.
And to witness 24 teams battle it out for the ultimate prize.
Hey, my people. Euro 2020 don't land for your domos. Watch all the games live and get better enjoyment on Super Sports Channel 32 from 11 June to 11 July. Make una no miss any of Euro 2020 matches though. Get your own GoTV decoder plus GoTenna. Make you enjoy 1 month max subscription for just 9,500 naira. Enter the home of football. GoTV. Love it.
What is this? I thought I asked all of you to drop whatever you have outside here.
I'm sorry, sir. This is Fluco Day. I saw you coughing earlier, so I brought it out for you so you can take it.
Thanks for your kindness, but I'm smarter than that. You think I don't know that every drug that cures cough and catarrh causes drowsiness? So you want me to sleep, Abi?
This is what distinguishes Fluco Day. It does not cause drowsiness.
Nah, drug. I know this drug. It will work well.
Let me try it. Manufactured by Harvit.
Marketed and distributed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor.
Time up. And you, I said what? Flu.
Fluco Day!
Available in pharmacy shops near you.
Attain the knowledge you require to join the broadcasting industry. Splash FM Media Academy offers premium training to both aspiring and practicing personalities. And enroll now at Splash FM Media Academy for a certificate of proficiency in broadcast journalism. Splash FM Media Academy courses include Introduction to Presentation, Basic Production, Digital Media, Yoruba Presentation, plus interactive practical mentorship session with veterans and industrial placement. To register, visit the Splash FM Media Academy beside White House, Felele, Ibadan. You can also register online at splashfm1055.com/academy or call 0705-439-3332. Visit our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Splash FM Academy for more details. Realize your potential and pursue a career in radio broadcasting today. Splash FM Media Academy, preserving media integrity.
Àǹtí, ẹran yín rèé o.
Ẹ ṣeun, ẹ bá mi fi ṣàkè àti àǹtí. Ikọ́ yìí ti ń pọ̀ jù o.
Rọra bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n àǹtí, ó yẹ kẹ́yìn náà ti lọ ṣàyẹ̀wò kọ́ yìí.
Ẹ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ̀ yìí pé mi ò lè lọ sí ilé ìwòsàn lásìkò yìí. Wọ́n kàn dédé ní pé mo ní àìsàn COVID-19 ni.
Ikọ́ yàtọ̀ síra wọn o. Ó lè jẹ́ kó fẹ́ lẹ́ni.
Ẹ wo, òótọ́ ni o àǹtí. Ẹ yẹ̀ wò ó, kẹ́ lè mọ̀ dájú.
Nítorí pé ẹni tí ò lọ kò lè mọ̀.
Ẹ yẹ̀ ikọ́ yẹn wò fún ikọ́ ife.
Ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ ohun tí ń ṣe.
Tí o bá ní ikọ́ tó ti lo ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì láì kásẹ̀ nílẹ̀, ó lè jẹ́ ikọ́ ife o. Ọ̀fẹ́ láyẹ̀wò àti ìtọ́jú ikọ́ ife. Fún àlàyé ibi tí o ti lè ṣe àyẹ̀wò ikọ́ ife, pè nọ́mbà kan sí orílẹ̀ fún ìtọ́jú ikọ́ ife ní 0800-2255-282. Ìkéde ìwá látọ̀dọ̀ ilé-iṣẹ́ ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn àwọn ará ìlú Amẹ́ríkà.
Ìrọ̀rùn ni tí o bá rí owó àwọn ìwúlò san tí o sì ń fowó ránṣẹ́ sí àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ àti ẹbí rẹ̀ tí ò ń rí ohun tó ń wẹ̀ rà lórí ṣọ́ọ̀pù ayélujára. Ìṣàkóso lórí ọwọ́ kejì ni kí o lè ṣí ìwé ìfowópamọ́ kí o sì ṣètò owó oríṣiríṣi láláì wọ ilé ìwé ìfowópamọ́ tàbí kí o rí àwọn ìgbà kó rí ètò òwò ṣe láláì jẹ́ oníbàárà ilé ìwé ìfowópamọ́ náà tẹ́lẹ̀. Èyí la gbédè o. Vault látọwọ́ Polaris Bank, ilé ìwé ìfowópamọ́ oní díjítà tí ó wà ní àrọ́wọ́tó rẹ̀. Ó ń ṣe ìpèsè àǹfààní oríṣiríṣi ju ilé ìwé ìfowópamọ́ ti ara lọ. Gba Vault sórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ rẹ kí o jẹ àǹfààní ìfowóránṣẹ́ ọ̀fẹ́ fún 30 ọjọ́. Jẹ gbádùn ìdá 100 ẹ̀bùn owó ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ ní wákàtí lórí gbogbo ìdúnàdúrà èjìdínlójìlélẹ́gbẹ̀rin. Vault wà fún àwọn oníbàárà Polaris àtàwọn alábàárà tuntun. Má ṣe jáfara, lọ sórí Google Play Store tàbí Apple Store láti gba Vault. VULTE. Vault látọwọ́ Polaris Bank. Àwọn òfin àti ipò wáyé.
It's game night at the Bensons and everyone's having fun. Then, this.
Hey, son, what's the matter? You too? No way.
Don't let coughs and the common cold ruin your fun time. Tuxil range of weekly formulated day and night syrups provides effective relief from cough and cold. Product may cause drowsiness. Tuxil, the job gets done when the cough is gone. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor.
Ohun rere á máa jẹ́ ti tàwọn tí ìpadàbọ̀ wọn gbóná jọjọ. Ṣé ẹ tún fẹ́ gbọ́? Ohun rere á máa tẹ̀lé àwọn tí àyè tàbí ìgbà kò dí àkókò ìdùnnú wọn lọ́wọ́ ní ìgbà kankan. Nítorí pé ìgbádùn ló ṣe pàtàkì ló sì ṣe kókó, kì í ṣe agbègbè tí ó ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ohun rere wà fún àwọn tí ń béèrè àríyá pẹ̀lú smooth àti orin aládùn. Ní àkọ́tán, ohun rere máa ń ṣe àwárí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ alákìtiyan léyìí tí Smooth Chapman mú kí ayé wọn ládùn kó lárinrin pẹ̀lú èròjà ọ̀dọ́ Smooth Chapman aṣaralóore. Gbèrò nípa Chapman, mo smooth.
Òkú ọmọ kì í ṣe tèmi àtòkú aya o.
Ẹni àfàdúrà gbáre o. Ó tó yẹ ká lọ kọ gbogbo ń tà fẹ́ nínú pàdé àdúrà lágbà yìí kú ọlọ́jọ́ mẹ́ta 72 hours with God. Bàbá ìsọjí orí afẹ́fẹ́. Prọfẹ̀t Táíwò Òjó. Ti CAC májẹ̀mú àánú ni Ọlọ́run máa ṣe àpàdé àdúrà ìfúnlóṣù mẹ́ta. Àkórí ìtìjú yìí bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti Friday 11, Saturday 12 àti Sunday 13. Nígbà tí mo wò ó fín. When I look at it more closely. Gbogbo ẹrù ogun tí ì ṣe tiẹ̀. Ó tó àkókò fún láti wá jálẹ̀ nú àdúrà. Ìkórìtà ìpínyà. Pẹ̀lú ìwà tó gun ní 72 hours títí ọ̀tà yìí. Ọ̀pọ̀ ìrìnsí Ọlọ́run àti àwọn olórí ẹ̀mí bíi Tọ́pẹ́ Àlàbí. Dáre Mélòdì. Ìlàjà Kétorí Ọlọ́run sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Kẹ́ni ológun àrà. Bridget Adénúbi Esther. Ni wọ́n máa pẹ̀lú bàbá ìsọjí orí afẹ́fẹ́ Prọfẹ̀t Táíwò Òjó ṣiṣẹ́ rẹ̀ ṣẹ́. Mexican tó wà ní kìlómítà 18. Ifẹ̀ Ìbàdàn expressway ló ṣègèrè láti máa pàdé. Ọkọ̀ ọ̀fẹ́ máa wà ní Ìwó Road àti Olúbàdàn Estate. Aago 9 òwúrọ̀ tá a bá ti wọnú pàdé àdúrà lọ́jọ́ Friday. Ọjọ́ Monday la máa ṣorí ọ̀fẹ́. Ẹrù ogun tí kì í ṣe tiẹ̀. Mexican ní kò wá lọ já sí nínú àdúrà.
Set to fresh.
I feel the freshness. I got the confidence. With the liquid fuel chewing gum, not scent out fresh. I'm feeling good. I feel so good. I feel so fresh. I feel so fresh. I got confidence. The correct chewing gum, not scent out fresh. No darling with scent out fresh.
Scent to fresh chewing gum. Trust the freshness.
Take it back to the old school classics on Splash 105.5 FM with Luminary DJ Eden. Every Saturday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. We'll throw you all the way back to the 90s, 80s, and as far back as the 60s. We'll bring you juju, reggae, disco, new jack swing, and many more. Right here on Splash 105.5 FM. Every Saturday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. The Splash Vintage Sound.
We're not going to cuss at you. We're not going to yell at you.
We're just gonna give you the best of information and entertainment that everyone can agree on.
105.5 The Splash.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for being there with us on Splash 105.5 FM. We would like to take your calls actually, but let me quickly go to Facebook and make these comments known to you. Thank you very much, Shina Muda. You said that medications part I retract, knowing we all have perspectives, and I respect you for that. Thank you so much for coming back to say that. I appreciate you. Thank you for your comment. You can also go to Facebook and make comments, there. Here is one tweet that I'm being reminded of here. It was tweeted by President Muhammadu Buhari's Twitter handle on 5th of May. He said, I again appeal for the release of the students of Greenfield University and all other citizens held in captivity. We will leave no stone unturned in ensuring that Nigerians live in a country where everyone can move where and when they want without the fear of kidnapping and banditry. Let me come to you, Dio. Some people have said that President treats some criminals with kid gloves and then face another set of criminals, with that level of, fight and violence. Here's what Brian Keoyekomi said. Funny when I see people fixated on PMB's choice of words in addressing the issue of violent criminality. He keeps quiet, they call him deaf, dumb, and dead. He speaks, they say he's too harsh and insensitive. Let's be realistic. Tact and diplomacy do not work when dealing with extreme violence. What do you say?
The question is, when the extreme violence comes from persons close to you, what do you do? We just read a tweet by Mr. President, 5th of May. He's appealing to bandits who kidnapped school children. Come on, appealing at that point. I mean, you're not talking tough to... And these are the, biases that people pick out and just show Mr. President that you can't be negotiating with certain kinds of people and crack down. It's same country. In a particular location, you negotiate. In a particular location, you decide to crack down. I mean, we're all Nigerians. If you want to crack down across board. Let's see the same force used across board. Personally, I'm against the arson going on in the southeast currently. I mean, burning INEC offices, killing policemen in uniform. I mean, burning down police stations. It should be condemned. And the Nigerian army, I mean, where they are already involved, we all saw when they visited. Should I call that a visit? Really, So and all that. What happened? A lot of things where we just discovered that, okay, they went there, cracked down and left. So the necessary things should be done. But Mr. President needs to at least find a way to manage his bias. There's nobody without a bias. Anyway, we all have biases. But he should find a way to manage it. And just like Michael said, be the father of all.
Ibrahim Oyekomi says, though some may see it from the ethnic angle, as we are wont to do in this country, I'm of the belief that the president's new stance should be directed at all criminal elements across the country. Michael, I want to round off my thought here on this Twitter and the issue. And this is something that I want us to discuss quickly before we go into something else. It is the issue of perspective of this nation 6 years ago and now. I showed you some documents from NBS. Unemployment count 6 years ago, 5.53 million. Now, 23.19 million. Fully employed then, 67.90 million. Now, fully employed has dropped to 30.57 million. I'll shoot another one. Total public debt in Nigeria in the last 6 years, then 12.60 trillion naira, now 32.92 trillion naira. 8.84 trillion was our domestic debt for the federal government, now is 16 trillion. FG external debt, 1.45 trillion 6 years ago, now is 10.89 trillion naira. I will shoot another one. Budget, 6 years ago, 4.49, now is 10.51. Look at our debt service, 1.06 trillion 6 years ago, now is 3.27 trillion naira. Let me put the last one that I have here so that you can make your comment on it. Look, our foreign reserve 6 years ago was $28.57 billion. Now it's 34.27 billion naira. This one is very interesting. Exchange rate 197 naira to $1. Now officially is 410 naira to $1. I asked my banker on Tuesday for their rate. It's 485 naira for $1.
In some places, it's 491.
Yeah.
So, how have we managed all of these indices? Economy, security, and corruption.
You have a, more like an octopus question.
I don't know. I just threw all of this on the table for all of us to discuss,
All of them put together are functions of governance and how those in policy are able to interpret, the mood of the time to also make policies that are, going to make life easy for the people. Don't forget that the long and short of any government, as we have it in the Constitution, I think it's Section 14. I always like to quote that Section 14 that talks about the security and welfare of the people shall be the sole responsibility of government. And so those security and welfare, those two elements are also locked within this mix of GDP, the employment stats, the debt profile, and the rest of it. So the question for me is, how have we been managing to keep afloat in the past, and what are we doing now when the nation is even going down the brinks? I just say it. I remember that, of course, I don't usually like to quote a previous president or former president to justify this current situation, but Chief Obasanjo said that he could trust Muhammadu Buhari with, other things, but not with the economy. And you've seen it. The economy has been in a shambles, basically because we have not been able to assemble the best brains. Don't forget that I like to give credit to Olusegun Obasanjo. What he did was he probably knew himself that he was not capable of running the economy. He went to the World Bank, he went to IMF, he went to all those to look for Okonjo-Iweala. He also brought Ezekwesili. He brought Soludo. Even Jonathan brought Akinwumi Adesina. He brought technocrats who knew the terrain. And you could understand, when, we're going to get debt forgiveness. They all did all that was needed. We have not been able to bring that to the table. And the economy seems to be hostile to the citizens when it should be, giving the reprieve, so to speak, to the citizens. I would score the president low on the economy. And the economy is basically about everything. You have insecurity because the economy is down. You have unemployment because the economy is down. One problem I have with this government is that we think that the way to solve any problem is to throw money at that problem.
Okay.
So you have NPower, you have Said, you have RRR, you have all these things. That is not about the economy. It's about making the environment attractive for businesses to come and set up, so that they can employ your people and pay them salaries, and then from there you can collect taxes.
Like Mohammed said, insecurity will not define the legacy of Mr. President. What will?
Well, my opinion is that of all the responsibilities that the Constitution has lined up for any government to do, security comes tops, because we know
that's
that
the first one.
Yes, nothing else can happen.
That's the primary responsibility of government.
Environment. It is, the primary responsibility of government. You see, for Alhaji Lai Mohammed, I think it will probably go down as, one of the, if not the most untrustworthy information minister in the history of Nigeria. I don't think anybody takes him serious anymore, because he seems to always see the opposite of what everybody is saying. Perhaps not able to tell the difference between being the information minister for a country and the publicity secretary of an opposition political party. The truth is, in the last 22 years, I don't think we have been this insecure. Sometimes we seem to focus on what's happening in the northeast, the southeast, the north central. But even in the southwest here, that is quote and unquote adjudged the most peaceful region in Nigeria, kidnapping is happening on an industrial scale. You don't even want to believe it.
That's the word.
It is happening. It's not a new phenomenon. It's not like even from right when we're growing up, we used to hear about Bomo. But now,
today,
mask the word industry. It's a massive problem right now.
It's now you
can't travel from your location to a place that is just maybe about 60 or 70 kilometers away without fearing for your life.
Okay. Someone is responding to Dio here and to what I said earlier. Some time ago, President Buhari said anyone with AK-47 should be shot at sight. That was not deleted.
That statement is even a blanket statement.
How?
Anyone with AK-47 should be shot at
criminals with AK-47.
Not police.
That's why I said it's a blanket statement. That's not talking tough, really. So how many people have been arrested with AK-47? As I speak to you right now, I was looking at a report done somewhere in Okiogun. Herdsmen are still moving around, grazing openly. I'm talking for your state, too, not talking somewhere else. Grazing in the open with AK-47 strapped around their necks. I'm not saying what I think. I have video evidence. And that's what led to, most likely, to what the governor said recently, that he will have to set up a tax because he knows it's still happening. Not just grazing, with AK-47 strapped around them. So really, that statement...
I hope we are also paying enough attention to what the chairman of Amotekun said, our retired General Togun, about the invasion of foreigners, especially in the southwest.
Okay,
because it's key.
0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, 0706 949 3000. These are the numbers you can call this evening. We'd like to hear from you. We want to also know what you think about this issue that we have on the table this evening. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Those are the numbers we have this evening. If you want to join us, if you want to be part of the conversation, please just call us. Let me call the numbers again for the last time. 0809 155 3000. These are the numbers you can call this evening. We'll have to hear. All right, so 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. You can join us on the line right now. So if you want to be part of this conversation, do join us right now. All right, so Michael, let me come to you. You were talking about the way we have handled the economy. So let me ask the three of you quickly. How will you rate the president 6 years so far? How would you rate this government overall on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would rate very magnanimously 2 over 10.
When you say you're magnanimous?
Yes. If I'm to
Why?
If I'm to do it by my very very self, it would be 0.00.
You're a teacher. You don't give anybody 0.
So the point is that if you have graduated from 12 trillion naira debt in just 6 years, you have tripled it, then you understand.
Hello. Oh, it's gone. Okay. So we can call us. Let me call the numbers again. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Now your turn.
40 is pass mark, right? So I'll give them 39. I'll hold my 1 mark with the hope that by 2020, I already gave them that pass mark.
That's magnanimity.
Yeah, I already gave them that mark on a platform recently. I said I'll hold my 1 mark, hoping that by 2023
they'll take it.
They'll be able to at least measure up to it.
Hello.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Please lower the volume on your radio set, please.
Okay. And what we have done with this area is we have entered mediocrity. And it's there in every facet of the country. We never had it so bad in this country like this. It's the worst regime that has ever ruled. Unfortunately, they are painting red, blue for us. There is an agenda. to expand the Fulani agenda of a captured country in every facet. NNPC dominated by them, economy dominated by them. They contribute nothing to the GDP of this country, and they're taking the highest something. Look at all the ministry, look at all the ministers, key ministry are put by the entities who don't know what they are doing. So it's a pity. We hope we will survive 2023, or everybody will go its own way. That's not the best, but if they don't take a decisive action to go back to federalism, where we were in 63, where we had the federal constitution, that was what our forefathers negotiated, not this one that was imposed by the military cabal of the Fulani people. If this concerns to go back to what our people negotiated in Lancaster 1957, federal government, where everybody is self-sufficient. Yes?
I'll let you make your comment, but I don't want you to mention ethnic groups again, so that
we can't. That is the truth. That is the truth.
We can actually have conversation without maligning any
I'm not going to go and give us the list of all those top edition of all NNPC subsidiaries, 21 or 22 of them. Give us the list. Give us the list of all those who have all worked in this country, which part of the region they come from. Give us the list of all the security chiefs, which part of them they come from. So that you number one. We are also Muslim and not number two. The rest of us are number three. We are talking in this country. That cannot continue. Good morning. Good evening.
Good evening. It's not morning. So passionate, but thank you. Yeah, well, I mean, maybe it's morning, but here is not morning. It's evening. Hello. Good evening. I want to take calls now. Hello. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. All right. Welcome.
Okay. Thank you. I want to ask all of you in the studio, did you expect anything more or less than this in 2015 when President Muhammad Buhari was voted for? I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I mean, I like that question, but somebody also gave me a question. They said, if those who supported this government, 2019, had to sleep 2019 and slept, and then had a dream of what we are seeing right now, and then would they have still voted? Would they have been able to vote this government into power? Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Ayo Babayemi from Akata.
Ayo Babayemi, welcome. Let's have it quickly.
You asked a very important question. How will read the administration? You have already answered the question. The rate of inflation has gone up. Unemployment rate has gone up. The exchange rate has jumped from 97 to 500 naira. So is that a pass mark? Somebody said he gave them 2%. I gave them 0%.
It's your mark. Yes, you can. It's your mark.
I gave them 0%.
Yes.
No,
I'm listening. I said it's your mark. Yes, you can give them. Yes.
Mark. I want to give you an assignment. Right from there, don't take your car out. Check from there to gate and check back. Look at the faces of people. Look at the clothes they wear. Look at the shoes they wear. And come and tell me what you see. Then you read the administration. Good afternoon.
Thank you. The last time I did endurance trek was at NYC.
20 years ago.
Okay, so, hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. This is Ayeko. I'm calling from Ilora.
Ayeko, welcome.
Kudos to all of you there for the excellent analysis of the state of the nation. When Mr. President said some time ago that he was a born-again politician.
Democrat.
Okay, Democrat. I laughed. Mr. President has brought Nigeria down on every phase of the economy. So we want to talk about politics or religion on everything. When we talk about nepotism, Mr. President is an orator. Mr. President has brought his unity into this country. The seed of the unity that Mr. President is showing has dominated, and everybody is now blocking it. Everybody is now eating it. This is not a government for our country. Look at the comment Mr. President made yesterday. This is very, very patriotic and so sarcastic. Mr. President ought not to have pronounce that statement because he's the father of this nation. This is very, very disappointing. Mr. President is busy disappointing Nigerians. We are the architect of our calamity because we voted for Mr. President in 2015 when we said we no longer want good luck. Now, Mr. President has not brought bad luck to Nigeria. May God deliver us.
May God thank you very much. But please let's watch all of this statement. Now, you see, when people talk about appointment of Mr. President, they need to go look at the books very well. We cherry pick some of this appointment, actually. Today, you have not escaped my question. I'm coming to you when we come back after the news. Good evening. Thank you for being there. When we come back after the news, we'll continue with this one. Stay with us. Don't go away.
Splash FM 105.5.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news. Splash FM.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o, Panadol Extra náà ni Panadol Extra. Ó tún ti ń bẹ báyìí nínú ìdí kékeré oníkápẹ́lẹ̀tì mẹ́rin láàdọ́ta náírà péré. Panadol Extra kẹ́nẹ́ ni Panadol Extra mú tura bẹ́ fọ́rí, ìrora ẹ̀yìn, ìrora oríkèé, ìrora nǹkan oṣù àti ìrora ẹ̀yìn. Tí ìbá ṣe Panadol, kò lè jẹ́ bí Panadol. Tá ìpadà ò bá sí lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ méjì, lọ rí dókítà. Panadol Extra ní paracetamol àti caffeine nínú, kò sí fáláboyún àtàwọn ọmọdé tọ́jú orí wọn kéré sọ́dún 12.
As the best man, I'd like to give a toast. But first, I have a few things to say. The money they are spraying the couple is reducing. It seems some people have rubbed glue under their shoes to pack it.
Clearly, he's been watching Comedy Nights or maybe My Siblings and I on Africa Magic Urban, DSTV channel 153. Now, you too can get inspired by our local entertainment. Get a HD decoder, dish, plus 1 month DSTV compact subscription for only 18,600 Naira. Because great stories start on DSTV.
When malaria won't show power for your side, it gon' knock you down. I'm a damn soft gel. Me I can tell you no say, malaria medicine when no get bad taste or bitter taste for mouth. And it dey easy to swallow. Try. I got red game changer. I'm a damn soft gel. When your mind gets set, go. I'm a damn don't stand to come out. Malaria for your body. Try. Shabali be that. Use a damn soft gel. Bounce back easily. Make you day in charge of your game with Amatem soft gel.
Amatem soft gel. Now to treat malaria. If body not well after 3 days, see a doctor.
Big protein breakfast. Àṣírí ibẹ̀ nìyẹn. Bí ìyá mi máa ṣe ń jí láfẹ̀mọ́jú, wọ́n á ṣe oúnjẹ fún wa kí wọ́n tó sáré lọ sí ibi iṣẹ́. Lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbà, bàbá wa máa ń ṣiṣẹ́ dalẹ́. Wọ́n sì tún jí lówùúrọ̀ láti gbé mi lọ sí ilé ẹ̀kọ́. Kò wá sí bó ṣe lè di gádígádí tó. Kì í rìn wọ́n láti máa bá mi ṣeré. Ìdí ìrètí wọn kì í kúrò nílé láì jẹ big protein breakfast.
Bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọjọ́ rẹ pẹ̀lú oúnjẹ òwúrọ̀ tó kún fún pig protein amárata kébé.
Pig, rich for your pig.
You get money for account. You want take small thing inside. Just do cardless withdrawal with any Momo agent. Oga, madam, where is your card? I don't forget them for house. If you do cardless withdrawal with any Momo agent. Anytime you need the money, but your card is there for yonder. Just go do cardless withdrawal with any Momo agent. Cardless withdrawal with Momo agent. With Momo agent, card withdraw with Momo agent. Any Momo agent.
Now you fit withdraw money even if you not hold your card for any Momo agent where they near you. Just dial *223# to take touchlight the Momo agent where they near your domot. Momo agent, safe, fast, no wahala.
Anytime malaria show, knock from Shalatem.
Má ṣe gba ibà láyè lára rẹ o. Tètè kojú rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Shalatem. Shalatem jẹ́ ojúlówó oògùn ibà tí a fi artemita àti lumefantrine ṣe láti ọwọ́ Shalina Healthcare ní ilẹ̀ tiwantiwa Nàìjíríà. Shalatem wà fún ọmọdé, ó sì wà fún àgbàlagbà. Pàápàá jùlọ, ó wà fún gbogbo ọjọ́ orí. Wàyé o, rántí láti lo Shalatem pẹ̀lú oúnjẹ. Tí àlàáfíà ò bá wá dé bá ara rẹ lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta, tètè kó ya lọ rí dókítà.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
Thank you for being there and welcome to the News Highlight at 6 p.m. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the revised National Climate Change Policy and the National Climate Change Programs for Nigeria. This was done at the Federal Executive Council meeting on Wednesday. The Minister of Environment, Mohammed Mahmood, who spoke on the developments, said the new policy document captures updates of emerging issues in the sectors not reflected in the previous policy. These, according to him, include the inclusion of the Paris Agreement signed by Mr. President in 2015 and gender mainstreaming, which he said are very relevant to national response to climate change. He said the new national policy on climate change with its programmatic plan of action is expected to run through 2021 to 2030. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has inaugurated the newly reconstructed 65-kilometer Ibadan-Sheyin Road. Governor Makinde, in his address at the inauguration ceremony held at Moniya in Akinyele local government area, reiterated the commitment of his administration towards infrastructure development across the state. The governor, who recalled that he promised the Oyo State people economic development and prosperity through his administration's roadmap to accelerated development, also said the inauguration of the 65-kilometer road project was another promise delivered. According to him, the road was awarded to a Kopek construction company for reconstruction at the cost of 9.9 billion naira and was flagged off on November 5, 2019. Dr. Samuel Otom of Benue State, who witnessed the road inauguration, urged Nigerians not to lose faith in the Nigerian project, saying that Nigerians do not have any other country other than Nigeria. Nigeria's electoral umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), is already working on a project to allow electorate cast their votes online and decongest crowds at polling stations across the country. INEC's National Commissioner and Chairman of Information and Voter Education Committee, Mr. Festus Okoye, disclosed this today. He, however, did not give a specific time frame as to when online voting will be implemented. Okoye stated that the electoral umpire has to a large extent tapped into the use of technology in the electoral process. The INEC National Commissioner decried the recent attacks on the Commission's offices in parts of the country, especially in the southern region. The Association of Bureau de Change Operators has said it will commence what it called Operation No Street Trading to stop hawking of foreign exchange by Bureau de Change Operators. The president, APCON Alhaji Aminu Gwadabe, said this was part of the resolutions made unanimously by Bureau de Change directors at the meeting of the operators in Lagos. And turning to the foreign scene, Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu has lashed out at a newly agreed coalition which looks set to remove him from power after 12 years as prime minister. Mr. Netanyahu called on right-wing members of parliament to block the coalition from taking office. 8 opposition parties reached an agreement to work together to form a new government late on Wednesday. But the group from across Israel's political spectrum still needs parliamentary backing to take office. In his first comment since the coalition was announced, Mr. Netanyahu urged members of the Knesset parliament elected by votes from the right to oppose the coalition. And Denmark has passed legislation allowing it to relocate asylum seekers to third countries outside the European Union while their cases are reviewed. The project, proposed by the Social Democrat-led government, will seek partner countries to run camps and fund agencies along migration routes. But the European Commission said it had concerns about the law, and a leading NGO said it was irresponsible. Denmark has repeatedly tightened its immigration policies in recent years. And finally, sports news. Serie A champions Inter Milan have named Simone Inzaghi as their new coach following the departure of Antonio Conte. Former Lazio boss and Italy international Inzaghi, age 45, has signed a 2-year deal at San Siro. 8 of the clubs that finished in the top 10 of Serie A have changed coach since the end of the season. Inzaghi, the younger brother of former Juventus and AC Milan striker Filippo, left Lazio last week after a 5-year spell in charge, turning down an offer of a contract extension to instead take up the challenge at Inter. Conte walked away last month with a year still left on his deal following clashes with the club's cash-strapped Chinese owners. That ends the 6 p.m. news highlight for today. I'm Oluwaseun Akinola. Good evening. Splash Rendezvous is still continuing.
Quick, Charger 240. Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
When we say we're committed to giving you more, here's what we mean. We mean going the extra mile to ensure you have the best customer experience. In fact, if you make an instant transfer and it fails, we will reverse it in 1 business day or refund 5 times the transaction fees. You get that? A reversal on failed instant transfers in 1 business day, or we will refund 5 times the transaction fees. Now, that's how committed we are to giving you more. Access, more than banking.
One passenger. Big auntie, go enter this bus.
Oga conductor, this kind cough na serious matter. You suppose go hospital.
Hospital care. If I carry this kind cough, enter hospital now. Those people go talk say now COVID-19 and they worry me.
Haba, doctors don't talk and say different types of cough dey. Some na dry cough, but this your own na wet cough e be.
Big auntie, now God go bless you. I don't tire for this my conductor and him cough wey no gree go. If it even be tuberculosis.
Conductor, go check am o. Make you dey sure because who no go, no go no.
Check that cough for tuberculosis.
Check am o, make you dey sure.
If cough don't worry you pass 2 weeks, it fit be tuberculosis. TB test and treatment na free. Just call the National TB Hotline for 3340 to get better information of where you fit do the test. This message now from the Federal Ministry of Health with support from American people then.
Iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná a máa fúnni ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ a sì máa mú ìdẹ̀rùn wá láti wá dènà ìjàmbá iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná. Ojúlówó wáyà tàbí kébù ló yẹ ká fi fa iná nínú ilé, lọ́fíìsì àti nínú ìlú. Purechem wires and cables ní àwọn ilé-iṣẹ́ mọ̀nàmọ́ná àti àwọn agbaṣẹ́ṣe yàn láàyò. Ojúlówó ni, kì í bó lára, kò kì í jóná àbájì, kì í kán sínú, ó sì fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀. Ìdí nìyí tí Standard Organization of Nigeria fi fòǹtẹ̀tẹ̀ tí Nigeria Electrical Contractors náà fi dìbò fún. Bí copper cable ṣe wà ní aluminium cable ń bẹ nípele lówó tí kò gún pa. Purechem wires and cables tó jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Kaman ló ń ṣe ojúlówó wires and cable jáde. Olú ilé-iṣẹ́ Purechem wires and cables limited wà ní Afrins Compound, Fort Gate, number 122/132, Oṣòdì Apapa Expressway, Ìyànà Ìsọlọ̀ bus stop, Lagos. Ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọn ní 080-803-03257. Purechem wires and cables. Ìrọ̀rùn fi iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná.
Ohun tó yẹni ló yẹni, ìrọ̀rùn ló yẹ àwọn oníbàárà wa. Nítorí náà, ní ìgbàkúùgbà tí o bá fi owó ránṣẹ́ láti ilé ìfowópamọ́ Access sí ilé ìfowópamọ́ mìíràn tí owó náà lọ, lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ la ó fún ọ ní owó rẹ padà tàbí ká dá owó tí a máa ń gbà lórí ìfowóránṣẹ́ padà fún ọ lẹ́ẹ̀márùn-ún. Èyí túmọ̀ sí wípé ní gbogbo ìgbà tí a bá fi owó ránṣẹ́ tí kò lọ rárá fún ìdí kan tàbí òmíràn, lọ́jọ́ náà la ó dá gbogbo owó rẹ padà o. Tí a kò bá dá padà ní ọjọ́ kan, a ó fún ọ ní ìlọ́po 5 owó tí a bá gbà lórí ìfowóránṣẹ́ rẹ. Ìdí nìyí tí a fi ń fọwọ́sọ̀yà wípé ìrọ̀rùn ẹ̀yin oníbàárà wa ló jẹ wá lógún o. Access ó ju ìfowópamọ́ lọ.
Here is
105.5.
accessing 105.4. One station, all the hits.
105.5. Splash.
Your station. Here is
105.5.
From the very beginning, we just saw the world differently than everyone else. This was made obvious in all we do.
That didn't sit well with some people.
What's our plan? Our plan is to keep going up and not just go up, but stay at the very top. We are your favorite radio station, Splash 105.5 FM.
Then it's up. If it's up, then it's stuck. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up.
105.5. The Splash.
We're kicking some folks out of the market this season.
I tell you, okay, everyone else in this bed with me, they're losers.
We're the station that beats all the competition. And we'll prove it as soon as we hear any competition.
105.5 Splash.
Welcome back. It's still Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station. We're still here. All right, so people are still calling. Maybe we should take the calls if you still want to contribute. You're still there. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Let's see if anyone is there. If you still want to contribute before we hit the next button. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, my name is Folani. I'm calling from
Welcome, Folani.
All right. Well, the discussion you are having with respect to the statement of the president, I wish that the statement was more encompassing. What do I mean? The banditry, the burnings, the killings, the kidnappings. If it was more forceful in that regard, I think it would have been something maybe that would be welcome statement, considering the fact that he has not been talking for a while. But I also would like us as citizens of Nigeria that we now have to be very intentional in what we do. I remember during the time of Jonathan, we had a lot of apathy. We were tired of Jonathan. We just wanted anybody to come in. So the question now is that if President Buhari now leaves the office, are we going to be intentional in getting somebody that we feel will do the job, or we are just tired of him and want somebody else to come in? In the history of Nigeria, recent past, I begin to see a trend that is, I don't understand. The former person is always better than the new person. Oh, if we wish it was Obasanjo, oh, we wish it was Jonathan, oh, we wish it was Buhari. You can imagine if we are going to wish it was Buhari after the next person comes in. As a citizen, as people that live here, we have to be intentional. The next set of people that we are going to vote in, we must look deep down in ourselves and ask ourselves questions. Is this the right person for us, or we are just going to filter away another 4 or 8 years? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Afolabi, for your comment. Okay, so, if we pick up that discussion from there, that's something else that we will not be able to finish, really. We can't pick up that because trying to identify who will be better for us in 2023, I think, yes, we can start the discussion, but, man, that's a heavy one to start.
Someone has declared already? Just so you know.
I know, I saw it on Arise TV yesterday. I know, but if I can ask you a question, where? What party? Aha. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on Splash FM.
Yeah, this is Joseph Oluwasegun from Ibadan.
Joseph Oluwasegun, welcome. Let's do this quickly.
Yeah, thank you. In as much I align with some of your analysis, for me, it's my personal opinion. If I want to give President Buhari pass mark, I will give him 49. Okay. He has not done so bad to the level of somebody giving him 2. Let's be realistic.
No, the person that gave him 2 is on a scale of 1 to 10. You can understand.
And he's too poor. Yeah, I still prefer somebody that gave him 39.
You see, it is his mark.
Why are you backing my mark now?
Wait.
He's too poor.
It is his mark.
He's too poor. Except you people want to behave like a fresh airplane. If you want to truly have integrity, it's too poor. Because the man has done something. Yeah. The man has done something. No, to be candid with you, I'm really disappointed. He's too poor.
You know, Holy, are you still there? Okay, it's good. I know you are listening, and let me tell you this one. It's just his own assessment. It's subjective. At the best, it is subjective. So it is not the mark of Splash FM. It's just the gentleman's own mark. I mean, somebody gave him 39. You gave him 49. And so it's your mark. Somebody, look, let me tell you, somebody will give him 70. Yes. Hello.
Sorry. Before we give mark,
tell me your name. Tell me. This discussion is not about marks, please. But tell me your name and where you calling me from.
It's Shola from Iwurud.
Welcome, Fola.
Shola from Iwurud.
Shola, welcome.
It's not before the mark. There should be index. security, corruption, and another one that this president came along. Then we should score. Then we know average. It is not 49-20%, and the man says it's too poor. He should tell us what has this government done to give him 8% or 100%. That is it.
Thank you. You know, before I asked the grading, I read certain indices out. I read then and now. It was deliberate, just so that we have figures that we can work with in terms of, we're not looking at how many rail lines were done. We know that there are many rail lines that were put together. There are many that were still in the pipeline. On my show yesterday, I read out some of the list of the things that this government had done, the ones that they're still working on. So it is not a frivolous marking. It's just the impression of the person who is giving the mark. So, and it does not stand anything. You can't use to collect money at Central Bank. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, it's Joseph calling back.
All right, Joseph. So it just
I can understand what you are saying.
Yes,
because it's some personal opinion. That is exactly what
absolutely.
You said. So I'm not against him. But how can you say President Buhari has not done so?
But he didn't say so.
Talk of corruption. Are we not in this country? Don't you know how much this so-called former governors embezzle? Look at former ministers. So what do you want to talk about? Look at, do you know how many local government under Boko Haram? So what are you talking, please? Look at the Second Niger Bridge. Is it not part of the development? Look at different powers. These are the same money some PDP members are funding. This man is giving it out. I have a friend who is teaching. He's being paid from this federal government along with the PTA teachers. Look at 774 local government, 30,000 for good 3 months. So is it not a development? Why are we people just behave that as if nobody? And if you continue to do it in this way, this country will collapse one day. Everybody will go.
The country will not collapse. Look, everybody on this table, you will respond. Everybody on this table believe in Nigeria.
We do.
It will not collapse. Yes, Michael.
You see, I like the perspective of that man. You see, and Shehu just told you that it is subjective. Shehu Akiola asked the question, "What is my mark?" And I gave my mark. You see, I agree that we are in a democracy that allows for plurality of opinions. Yes. So I scored the president 2/10. I should say it again because we were looking at stats. We're looking at the people fully employed in this country in 2010 was 79% of Nigerians fully employed in 2010. In 2015, 71% of Nigerians fully employed. In 2020, 44% of Nigerians fully employed. That is 0/10.
That's increasing unemployment.
In 2015, the debt profile was 12.6 trillion. In 2021, the debt profile of Nigeria is 32.9 trillion. That is 0. That is for me. Okay, so the GDP, of course, the GDP, increased from 28 to 34. Yes, so that's the reason for the 2/10.
And foreign reserve also increased.
So I'm working with statistics. So you are.
And for me, like I said, it's subjective. So today, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
I wish
that's the question that's coming
to you. This earlier. Before the news. But you see, for me, the only dream that seems valid right now, when you talk about the Nigerian dream, is for everybody to run away. Wow. The rate at which,
Plan B.
Yes. If it's not long, I even think it should be the plan A right now to run away. And that says a lot about what we have become. The truth is that the president can only get away with this in a political setup. Trust me, if it was in the private sector that he was hired 6 years ago on the basis of fighting corruption, securing the country, improving the economy. I've forgotten the fourth one.
The security, fighting corruption, and the economy.
He would have been fired a long time ago. And you see, personally, I'm against this idea of describing the president as the father of the nation. He is not the father of anybody.
He's the president of the Federal Republic.
He is the president of, he's the father to his children. And so he's the president of Nigeria, elected to perform specific functions. And I dare say that he has failed woefully in so many of those functions. I do not expect too much from him anymore because, what else can you do with barely 2 years or less to go?
Less than 2 years.
My hope is that as a nation, because the country does not belong to the president, it belongs to us. It's our country. At best, he's just going to be president for 8 years and leave. We must do everything possible to ensure that it doesn't degenerate beyond this level, so that by the time he leaves, we'll still have a country to savage. We still have a country to govern. And I agree with those people who said we must now be very mindful
and intentional
about the person. Because today we are discussing more or less the office of the president that will succeed President Muhammadu Buhari, because it's going to be very key as to what becomes of us as a nation. But to ask me to rate President Muhammadu Buhari,
you have done it. You just didn't give marks. You have done the rating.
Forget the marks.
Yeah, you have done it. You just didn't give it. So it's all right. Thank you very much. Now, and let it also put on record that nobody will say that government had not done anything. It would be erroneous for anyone to say the government has not done anything. It's highly erroneous. It does not stand reason. For anybody to say in the past 6 years this government has done nothing. He has
simply performed, way below expectations. It's not like he's not been getting money.
No, that could be an
he has been in charge of our national resources, selling oil, making but it's not possible for him not to have done anything at all. Even the worst president in the world would have at least done something. Yes,
it would have been very unfair.
But are we operating on the standard that at least he has done something?
So let's go away with that.
We cannot be operating on the minimum standard.
All right. Second thing is that those who talk about appointment, I wish we'd stop talking about appointment of Mr. President, really. I wish we stop because if you begin to look at the numbers, there's a Premium Times report that said that Ogun State got more appointments than any other state in Nigeria.
Even the question of the oil wells, it will shock a lot of people that we actually have more southerners
with oil wells than it was somewhere here that somebody said that northerners are not in Harvard. I felt insulted when I heard it. I felt really insulted when I heard it. It's not so. We should not be discussing that way.
We should not be discussing. It's too narrow. It's too shallow to the.
There are several. In fact, if they start alumni group, you'll be surprised.
That you might find less than
exactly.
The percentage that you think.
Most likely find more northerners
than your people.
As graduates from Ivy League universities in the US and UK.
All right. So that is not the level at which we discuss here.
Our concern should be those we have elected, those we have given our mandate to, and our otherwise
they're performing.
They're using those mandates.
So we have to take a break. When we come back, we will do a bit of your state and still take your calls. When you drive a challenge, how do you feel now, Michael?
I'm not sure whether anything has changed.
Okay. We'll be back in a moment. Do stay with us.
People are observing the traffic light too.
I saw that.
I saw
that one. I observed it.
You asked me to break it down.
You will come to that in a moment.
Something has changed. No matter the breakdown.
I said I'm not sure.
Let's come back after this break. Stay with us.
Splash FM 105.5.
My name is Data Lover Joe Mapel. Any wolf I go know I'm well. MTN Pulse don't come ring my bell. What's this I hear of data just for the night? You see, I'm a very, very big guy, but I don't joke with my giggy bites. So MTN get the free guy with this data plan for the midnight. 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. 2 gig, go boy, I can live the life. IG, TikTok is ready to go. Oh boy, I'm feeling fine because 11 to 6 in the morning. IG, TikTok, balling. 2 gig, there for me. MTN Pulse, yes, of course, MTN Pulse.
MTN Pulse. Do you dial *406# to join? everywhere you go. MTN.
Sense of fresh. I feel the freshness. I got the confidence. With the liquid fuel chewing gum, not scent of fresh. I'm feeling good. I feel so good. I feel so fresh. I feel so fresh. I got confidence. The correct chewing gum, not scent of fresh. No darling with scent of fresh.
Sense of fresh chewing gum. Trust the freshness.
Captain.
Yes, coach.
Shebi you sabi say if this our school go follow carry shoulder for people wey sabi, we must win this match.
Yes, coach.
No forget say 1, the time to win as they blow whistle to start the match. 2, no forget to protect your net every time.
Yes, coach.
Yes, so my correct champion.
Okay, champ. Make you go eat. Make you bath so that you go fit sleep well. You hear?
Papa, you don't forget the net, oh.
Aha! Oya, tell us how we go take fall malaria hand.
All of us must sleep inside net every night. And when we know they use the net, now to arrange them well, keep one side.
Better pikin.
Our champion, we sabi every.
Papa, make you no forget you and mama net, oh.
The mosquitoes where they carry malaria, now for night them they bite. If everybody sleep inside net, mosquitoes no go bite anybody and malaria no go worry anybody. This message, now the Federal Ministry of Health and support from American people carry and come.
As the best man, I'd like to give a toast. But first, I have a few things to say. The money they are spraying the couple is reducing. It seems some people have rubbed glue under their shoes to pack it.
Clearly, he's been watching Comedy Nights or maybe My Siblings and I on Africa Magic Urban, DSTV channel 153. Now, you too can get inspired by our local entertainment. Get a HD decoder, dish, plus 1 month DSTV compact subscription for only 18,600 Naira. Because great stories start on DSTV.
What is this? I thought I asked all of you to drop whatever you have outside there.
I'm sorry, sir. This is Fluco Day. I saw you coughing earlier, so I brought it out for you so you can take it.
Thanks for your kindness, but I'm smarter than that. You think I don't know that every drug that cures cough and catarrh causes drowsiness? So you want me to sleep, Abi?
This is what distinguishes Fluco Day. It does not cause drowsiness.
Nah, drug. I know this drug. It work well, no? Let me try it. Manufactured by Harvit.
Marketed and distributed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor.
Time up. And you, I said what? Flu.
Fluco Day!
Available in pharmacy shops near you.
Don't worry, Ma. He'll be home on time, just like his dad.
Are you sure?
Yes, Ma. I'm cooking their favorite jollof with Sonia tomato mix. They are here.
Hey, is the jollof ready?
See? Right on time.
Your loved ones will always rush home for tasty meals prepared with Sonia tomato mix.
Mommy, the jollof is yummy.
I wouldn't miss this jollof for anything.
It's so good eating together with a family.
Yes, Ma. All thanks to Sonia.
Sonia tomato mix brings you together. Proudly Nigerian.
láti ní ojúlówó mọ̀ tó nílò tó fi darapọ̀ mọ́ṣẹ́ gbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ tó sì dakọ́ṣẹ́ mọṣẹ́ tí mùṣemúṣẹ́ dámúṣẹ́ yàtọ̀. Splash FM Media Academy ti pèsè ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó gàgàǹgbá fún gbogbo ẹni tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ láti dojúlówó agbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ tàbí ẹni tó fẹ́ fìmọ̀ kúmọ̀ nídìí iṣẹ́ gbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ tẹ́sí gbàwé ẹ̀rí mo yege. Àwọn ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ Splash FM Media Academy dá lórí Introduction to Presentation, Program and Content Development, Journalism, Basic Production, Digital Media, Yorùbá Presentation, tó ń ti ìtọ́sọ́nà lórí ìṣẹ́yọni pẹ̀lú àwọn gbajúgbajà agbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́. Fún ìforúkọsílẹ̀ àti ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé ẹ lọ sí Splash FM Media Academy tó wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ White House Fẹ́lẹ́lẹ̀ Ìbàdàn tàbí kẹ́ ẹ kàn sójú òpó ìtàkùn àgbáyé wa pẹ̀lú www.splashfm1055.com/academy 0705-439-3332 tàbí 0805-699-8676. ẹ sì lè kàn sórí Facebook, Twitter àti Instagram wa @Splash FM Media Academy. Mú àlá rẹ ṣẹ láti dojúlówó agbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ lónìí. Splash FM Media Academy. À ń fọmọlúwàbí ṣe iṣẹ́ ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ lọ́jọ́.
Oga and madam, you don't see the room now. Make I show you the toilet where you could share with the other neighbors.
Now
which toilet be this?
What happen?
Oga agent, you mean say na general toilets clean come white like this,
Yes, now. Na hypo toilet cleaner than they use to clean and kill the yama germs come out.
Hypo toilet cleaner? Wow.
Wash your toilet at least once a week with Hypo toilet cleaner to keep it sparkling clean and germ-free. Available in sachet for 35 naira only.
Madam, now 2 years land on one collect.
We go pay for 6 years,
Splash FM 105.5.
Welcome back. This is Splash 105.5. So I said we're moving to your state. We may not be able. This may be the first part of this. We'll continue next week. So Dio, you're going to be here next week again.
No problem.
All right. So, Michael.
Yeah.
You know why I asked that question was when the reconstruction of the challenge, started. I was telling people that what I saw was a smart road.
Yes.
A smart street that will be aligned with street lights, robotic functioning. But our experience at that junction before now is different from what we have today.
Yeah.
But you said you were not sure.
Yes, I said I was not sure. And mind you, I choose my words very carefully.
Explain yourself.
I underline very carefully. So when I said I'm not sure, it simply means that I am still undecided. Okay? But, however, I like to say that there has been some change at that place. But for me, for my own standard, that is not the change that I would have loved to see.
Oh, what did you want to see?
I would have loved to see a flyover, for instance, in that place. You know why? I still find it very difficult to understand that if I am coming from Ring Road, I have to be boxed at that junction to wait for those who are going towards New Garage. Look at what goes on at Malete. If I'm coming to the office, anytime I'm coming to the office, I don't get hooked at the roundabout. I don't get to encounter Okada or Keke or whatever at the junction because I am on my way to challenge. So I was expecting that challenge, and that challenge is the gateway into Ibadan. Don't forget that people coming from Lagos, people coming from Abeokuta, people coming from Agoiwoye, people coming from all places meet at that place. So why should we still be counting the seconds of the traffic light when we don't have business at the floor, at the junction there? So my own issue with that place is we should have had something better than that. That's my own estimation.
Okay, all right. Tunde, let's start from that roundabout reconstruction. What do you see?
Well, it was frustrating at first. When there's an ongoing construction. It looks better now. It looks
than it used to be.
Than it used to be. Mainly for me because of the traffic lights. Because you see, before when there was roundabout at Idiodo and then Challenge, we didn't have any functioning traffic lights.
Yeah.
So it was chaotic. But now it's different. However, I would like to wait to see because it's almost alien.
It looks strange.
With Ibadan. and I can already see that a lot of people are violating.
Yeah. Somebody did right in front of me yesterday evening.
So enforcement is going to be very, very key. If we can keep the enforcement on, we are still in the week of celebrating second year in office. So you want to keep the appearance going.
So what you say is enforcement, that's one.
If we can keep the enforcement on.
What I said yesterday about the enforcement?
I mean, it's simple and straightforward. If you violate the traffic lights, be ready to pay heavy fines.
Yes.
Okay.
Heavy fines.
Okay.
That's one. Number two is we should also not allow traders to encroach, ahead of those barriers that have been put there. Whether it's in the morning at 8 a.m. or
at 10 p.m.
At 10 p.m. If we can ensure those two, I think it would have been a marginal improvement to what we had in that place before.
I think such projects are called urban renewal projects. I think Kaduna State most likely was one of the states that started such stuff, and they are really doing well. I mean, I was in Kaduna with Michael like 2 or 3 years ago and all that, and there are some roads that give it to them and all that. See, the beauty of this construction here at this junction will not come out until they finish it. Which means it is not yet complete. It is unfinished. That's the truth.
No,
that's the truth.
Hold your fire. Hold your fire.
Okay.
That road was commissioned on May 29.
It is not completed. Urban renewal projects go beyond just the design and the tarring of the roads.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have to wait.
There are some markings that should be on the road that are not yet there. The barricades have not yet been completed. The barricades will solve the problem, should solve the problem, let me say, of the traders. It should solve the problem.
Barricade.
Yes.
But they're still there.
Because it is not complete.
Okay.
I started with Kaduna and I had to bring in Michael here because when they eventually do it and they complete it, there are certain things you will not even be able to do. By virtue of certain things that will be put in place. Not just the street lights. So I make bold to say
there's a yellow part that you have
exactly. There will be footpaths, there will be pedestrian crossing because there's no bridge yet.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Zebra crossings at certain points, certain markings that have to be on that road.
All right.
Until then, it is incomplete for me.
Okay. I know it was a smart road. I kept telling everybody. I recall some time ago at the progress department, and people were almost eating me alive when I said, "Look, what is there is a smart.
That's it.
Kind of road that you need to obey rules to ply.
Sure.
That's what it is. Yes, that same yesterday. And on Tuesday, I walked down there just to see how it looked, and there were some officials who told me you cannot walk past this place. You have to go through these railings. You cannot walk past here. So I have to go through the railings.
They are not supposed to be telling you. There are supposed to be some markings.
Somebody just told me because I was just walking, and the guy said, "No, gentlemen." But I love the fact that he approached me, modestly and said, "Gentlemen, please." This way, rather than the way we used to do sometimes.
You just enter the road now. That's the normal thing,
Right, so now let's come to Oyo State quickly. Second anniversary. It's been 2 years now, and this government has been in place. I recall at the point we had to stop looking at that document. You remember that accelerated development? We had to stop because sometimes it looked like unrealistic. Some of those benchmarks. But we're going back there we have to ask questions. That's why we are here. So if you look at it 2 years now, today, what have you seen?
Well, mixed feelings for me. Remember when the administration came on board initially, one of the very first things they did was to scrap the tuition, the 3,000 naira tuition in school, which I vehemently opposed. Not because I was insensitive to the plight of those who could not afford it, but because I know that you cannot have a situation where a lot of people would not take responsibility for anything at all. And it is already biting now. We are looking at enrollment in schools which has improved, but we're not talking about the percentage of those who are unable to write external examinations, especially WAEC and NECO. So the government needs to look in that area. Number two is the state of our schools. They've done some work. I saw, on the Instagram page of the governor, some of the new schools that, the commission, especially the ones they repaired in Ogbomoso, in Okiogun, and some in Ibadan. But the truth is, it is still a far cry from what and where we should be. And that's where I'm going to leave the aspect of education. In the area of security, I would say it's getting better now, because there was a time, insecurity was almost looking like, what will constitutes a major stumbling block for this government, but I think things are relatively calm now. What I would love to see, and by the way, the governor mentioned it some 2 days ago, is a decisive approach towards tackling insecurity in Okeogun and in Barakwa area, which is largely down to farmers' elders crisis. But the governor said that within the next 8 weeks or thereabouts, we're going to have task force in place to, curtail that. Hopefully that happens, because for me, if we accept that Okeogun is the food basket of Oyo State, then we must do everything possible to ensure that farming, happens unhindered in that place. In terms of physical projects, especially road construction, well, in the major cities, in the major, towns, we've seen some. Yesterday they commissioned the Money I Sharing Expressway, but the interlands in Ibadan and even outside Ibadan, they are in such a terrible state. I don't know how to,
picture it,
situate what is going on. It seems our focus entirely is on the major city areas, but the inner roads that we have are not good at all. Then talking about that, another area I would like the government to look at, because it looks like it's been skipping them, from Molete to Dugbe. That's Okeado exists. You see, you can count about 2 or 3 manholes there that are dangerous, in very dangerous, situations. What we're having now is that people by themselves are, doing some kind of self-help. Maybe put some markings there, put tire there today.
Or they'll put very long pole.
I don't know if we intend to wait until somebody dies off on that road before we do something. Okay. So that's why I said it's mixed feelings here and there.
I love his approach, and that's what I want to adopt. So I come to you, Michael. Solution journalism.
Okay. Everything.
So those areas that you think the government should be looking at now,
everything
not criticism.
Everything that Tunde has said,
you adopt them.
I adopt them. But I want to add this, and this is my major question. My major issue with government and governance is communication. Very simple.
Okay.
So for instance, if not because we are journalists, we would probably not know that they are doing something called Light Up Oyo or something. We would not know, but they are digging grounds everywhere. So you have over 25 functional radio stations in Ibadan or Oyo State.
If not 33.
And the government cannot write a memo to the editors to say that if you are going to challenge today, please use this road because there's a construction somewhere. See, I have seen governance. I think that is my major issue. See, if a government does not do any construction, but if that government communicates, I'm okay with it. And then, lastly, government officials, where are they running to? So when they are in official convoy, where are they running to? I almost had an accident today because a government official is passing my road. What is the issue?
So you have not learned to move away from the road when they are coming. You have not learned that.
People who were buying popcorn when during campaign. I thought that during campaign you were not safe because your rivals will want to shoot you. After you have become minister or governor or commissioner, what do you need to be driving people away from the road for?
Mr. Alatubosun, I shouldn't have used that word, Mr. Alatubosun. Learn to move away from the road.
Okay. I'll heed your call, but let them communicate.
I'm going to start from communication. Michael made some serious... I was on a platform and someone called in and said, it's like something is happening and communication is just missing. He literally just accused everybody on that platform that you guys are not doing what you should do. And government needs to communicate more. It's very important. So from there I'll just pick agric and sports. I thought Tunde was going to pick sports. Give it to the current ministry. They're upgrading stadia here and there and all that.